So, Pastor Kinloch, I know Detroiters know who you are, but in 2 minutes, just tell everybody, the people who don't know who you are, who.
For 27 years, I've pastored the Triumph Church. I started at 24 years of age after being reared and raised in the city of Detroit. I accepted the call in March of 1998 to become the pastor, and in 27 years, the church has grown from less than 100 people to more than 40,000 families. We believe that theology ought to impact our sociology. We believe that how we worship God ought to motivate the work that we're willing to do to uplift and edify our fellow man. And so my life has been woven together with the fabric and the thread of a saying that my mother used to say, that service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy. And so for 27 years, that's what I've sought to do. I've sought to use my life for the betterment of other people.
Wow. So, tell me this. Why do you want to be the next mayor of Detroit, and what qualifies you to lead this city at this critical juncture?
I believe after 27 years of helping people that we can be more intense and intentional, not to just do ministry inside of a wall. We've always known that the best ministry is not done in a building but outside a building. But I believe that our experiences and the summation of our life gives us a unique capability in order to make an impact on the larger community. What I often tell people is that they got to remember what Dr. Frederick Sampson used to say, the late pastor of Tabernacle. He used to say that the church's address is a compilation of multiple addresses, that the people that show up are the people that live and reside in the city. And we have a unique perspective because I'm at the altar on a weekly basis, and I'm able to hear the deep concerns of people that they may not address in an open forum or open town hall meeting. They say what their concerns are, and also that they have concerns many times that people who are in positions are not sensitive enough to their needs and addressing their concerns. And so it gives us a unique ability to take the information and knowledge and the counsel that we have and make an impact in a way that government is working good, not just for some people, but for all people. And I believe after 27 years, it's not new work to me, it's people work, and it's work that we can continue in a mammoth and Herculean way.
Wow. So, what's the biggest difference Detroiters will see with your administration, if you're elected, and Mayor Duggan's after 14 years of service?
Well, Mayor Duggan has done a tremendous job of laying a tremendous foundation for the city of Detroit. We have come from a very dark, debt-ridden place, and I believe that we have a wonderful foundation that we have not had in a long time. But I believe it's an opportunity to understand that no mayor could have done everything. He's done some things, but he could not have done everything. And so it gives us an opportunity on that tremendous foundation to cast a vision. The wonderful thing about that mayoral office is that the mayor not only casts vision, but he communicates the vision, and he has the capacity to convene conversations of stakeholders in order to make that vision come into reality. I believe that a Kinloch administration will give the assurance to people and the confidence to people that we're not just concerned about downtown, but we want everyone to know that your town or your part of the town is just as important as to the work we're doing downtown. I said something early yesterday morning when I filed the petitions that I want the citizens of Detroit to know that every block will rock under Kinloch. It wouldn't just be a part of the city. It wouldn't just be some of the residents, but it would be all of the residents. One of the things we will prioritize is poverty. Poverty has to be addressed. There is a gap in this city. When you look at the metropolitan area and the region, it's 60,000 plus a year. But when you look in the city of Detroit, it's 30-something thousand, a little more than $30,000 a year. That has to be addressed. And we have to put some things in place in order to open up opportunities for people to get out of poverty, but open up more opportunity, additional opportunity for the middle class to soar into higher levels of sustainability, and not just to survive, but to also thrive.
Detroiters have seen their fair share of corruption damage this city before. We've seen it time and time again. What systems would you put in place to ensure transparency and public trust in the mayor's office?
I believe that every citizen of this city, in this country, has a right to have confidence in the character of the people that lead them. One of the things I would immediately do is put a chief compliance officer on the 11th floor of City Hall. And that's different than the inspector general that serves on the legislative side, because that's reactionary. We want someone on the municipal side, the administrative side, the executive side, in order to make sure that you can trust the integrity and the reputation of how we do business in the city of Detroit. One of the things that I pray for on a daily basis, none of us are perfect, but one of the things I live by is I wake up in the morning and I get on my knees and I pray, don't let me do nothing today that's an embarrassment to the people that's associated with me or related to me. And I believe that we have a responsibility, not just prophetically, but municipally, in order to ensure that people can believe in the people they elect to office.
Let's talk education for a second. I mean, Detroiters have been suffering for a long time when it comes to the education of their children. How will you ensure families in Detroit that they feel their kids can receive a good education with DPS-CD or even some of the charter schools?
By making sure that we are partnering with DPS and helping them to cast vision, but also communicate it to the parents and the children, so people know what they are partnering and what they are a part of. City Hall can continue to ensure that we are working with DPS and we're working with the school district in order to make sure that they have the resources they need. There's some great practices across the country, as in shared revenue, in order to make sure that the school system have what they need. We have to deal with the truancy issue. We need to inspire hope to these young people and to make sure that parents understand that they are not parenting by themselves, that they have partners in the people they've elected and in the leaders in their community. And the office of the mayor gives me an opportunity in order to give them tangible role models that they can believe in, and let them be able to see that there are people that look like them that can lead them and govern them and give them the opportunity to believe, like I did as a child growing up on the west side of Detroit, that one day this could be you. And so I believe that the office of mayor, one of the greatest things that you can provide for the youth of the school district is hope.
We talked a little bit about downtown, but how will you bridge the divide that exists between downtown and the neighborhoods, and between longtime residents and those who are newcomers to the city of Detroit?
One of the things we need to do is stop believing as politicians. We need to come in and will and lord our belief over people. We need to start listening more to the people who elect individuals to office. When people ask me the question, Pastor, you're a pastor, why would you get into politics? Well, one of the things we have to remember, this is not a monarch. This is not a totalitarianism. This is not a government that should only be ruled by aristocrats and bureaucrats. We have a democracy where people ought to exercise their voice by exercising their vote. A farmer should be motivated. Anybody that is a citizen of this country should believe that they have access to use their voice and to use their vote by coming into office. One of the things we would do is to continue to listen to people and convene tables of stakeholders, whether you're talking about union leaders, whether you talk block club presidents, whether you're talking about precincts delegates, whether you're talking about philanthropic leaders, corporate leaders, bringing individuals together so that they can convene a table where we can have cooperative conversation about how do you want your community to look? What are things that you would like to see? I believe that when we look at all of the foundations in our city, if we can harness those resources and connect those resources to the relationships in community, I think that we can come up with dreams and visions in the city of Detroit that we can execute in a way that we have not seen in a long time, if ever.
Okay. Let's talk about city contracts and hiring and services. How will your administration ensure equity, especially for Black and brown communities when it comes to these things?
Well, one of the things that we got to always remember is that most people are not looking for a handout. They're just looking for access. They just want the process to be fair. And one of the things we would do is make sure through our compliance officer is that the process is fair and it's equitable to everyone, that it's not rigged and it's not stacked, that we will continue to build on the foundation that we currently have in place. One of the things that we want to do is to make sure that we're giving our small businesses in the city of Detroit access to the same resources we give big businesses, giving our residents access to those same resources. When you look at the land bank and you got 60,000 properties, the residents of the city of Detroit needs to be able to know that they have access in order to purchase those homes through down payment assistance, through renovation grants. People who do renovation on their homes, not to just purchase the home, but to sustain the homes, should have access to tax credits in order to make sure that it becomes an incentive to continue to live in this city. We need to incentivize living in the city by opening up opportunities for people to purchase homes and giving people opportunity who don't live in the city to want to come back to the city. I believe that we have a rare opportunity here to let other people continue to see the magic of the Motor City, that this is something to be a part of, and I believe it's a special time to be a part of it.
Okay. Let's talk about gun violence, because so many young people are getting their hands on guns and dying in our city. What would you do about that, the violence in our city that we're worried about?
Whenever we hear that crime is going down and then another child dies, it's a reminder that no matter how much work we've done, we still have not done enough, because one child is too many children. And one of the things that we know is that in our community, the best work is done by the people who are in the community. I want to continue to build on our community initiatives, to continue to utilize the people in the community who are trusted voices, who are the trusted agents. We are blessed at the Triumph Church to have 3 police chiefs. And so we're surrounded by tremendous competency and tremendous talent. But the other thing, we're also surrounded by our community influences, who people trust. When we look at the community initiative that's going on right now, one of the reasons it works so well is because those people are in the community and they're working on behalf of the community. Many times when leaders come in our community and we don't know them, there's a level of skepticism. And so what we have to do, and because I'm one of those individuals, I know who those individuals are in our community. We got to continue to tap into that and realize that if it's happening to one, it's happening to too many, and continue to do what we're doing right now, which I am impressed with the city council and the mayor to continue to work in that direction in order to make sure that we're providing those resources so that they continue to have impactful relationships.
When you think about bringing jobs back to the city, how will you ensure that if jobs are brought to the city, Detroiters are considered in that hiring process? You know, we need new jobs, we need Detroiters to make more money, but what will you do about that?
Well, you alluded to it early, education. Our educational system has to become the pipeline to fuel our young people into these jobs. We know that we have baseline industries, whether you talk about medicine, whether you talk about health, whether you talk about education, whether you talk about the airport, whether you talk about fire, police, whether you talk about municipal jobs, county jobs. There are baseline industries that we already know we have. Why are we waiting so late to train individuals to take those qualitative jobs? We have to make sure that we have programs in our school system and our educational system in order to fuel our young people into those high-paying quality jobs. One of the things that we would do is make sure that those things are in place. But the other thing we would do is incentivize the opportunities for other people to want to come and be a part of that. We have to make sure that we're taking care of the people that are already doing the work and open up opportunities to make it so attractive that people who are not here want to be here and continue to help us do the work.
Beautiful. Let's talk about blight, abandoned properties, and basic city services in the neighborhoods. How will you ensure that you'll make that better for citizens in the city of Detroit?
Well, continuity of government, you are right, is going to be so important to voters when they go to the polls. They want to make sure, because we remember the day when the trash wasn't getting picked up, when the lights were not on, when the 911 calls were not being answered. And so we've come a long way. One of the things that we will continue to do is making sure that we continue to have competent people sitting in those seats and in those positions to make sure that those things continue to get done. And so we have institutional people who've been there a long time, who know how it works. We have people there who've come in and partnered with those individuals and made some things work more efficiently and more effectively. But now we have an opportunity for a new mayor and administration come in and not just continue to operate the systems the way that they've been operating, but explore new creative ways for us to do the work and deliver the services with efficiency and effectiveness, and to be innovative by empowering our young people to dream, create, and imagine. That's one of the challenging things that I'm looking forward to, looking at ways how we can do government better.
Now, I want you to look in the camera, and I want you to give a message to that single mom or that single dad sitting on the city's east side, trying to keep their kids safe, trying to keep the lights on in the house. What do you have to offer them if you're elected as their new mayor?
My entire life has been fueled by how I felt as a child. Unlike many of my counterparts that's running for the mayoral seat, I know what it feels like to wake up in a house with no front door and no back door, no glass up to the windows, plastic up to the entranceway. I know what it feels like to not know what you're going to eat that evening, to have to go to school with holes in the soles of your shoes and barely have decent clothes to put on, to not know how you would make it another day. And that fuels me by tenderizing me and making me sensitive to know that if I can use my time, talent, and the treasures that I have been given to make life better for someone else, that's my motivation and my fuel. And that's something that I would always do for you. I know that if I'm elected to be your mayor, that you can have the confidence and the assurance that every day I will show up, and my motivation will be to fight to make sure that your rights are protected and you are given the opportunity that's equitable and just for all residents in the city of Detroit.
Wow. And in final thoughts here, if you could accomplish just one thing in your first year that would define your legacy, what would it be and why?
Affordable housing, to make sure that we're putting our residents on a path of generational wealth and transforming their quality of life. We have to make sure, after what happened to 3 generations of a family in a casino garage and 2 kids ending up dead, the only way we can ensure that their lives are not lost in vain is by making sure that that doesn't happen to another child and another family.
Anything else you want to add, sir?
I always want to tell people, for 27 years, I've rocked with the residents of the city of Detroit. And if I'm given this chance, they'll know that because I have rocked with them, I'm asking for them to give me one more chance and rock with me.